Okay guys, so we came up with a new card kit. I haven't glued anything down yet because I'm going to show you how to make the individual ones, but this is essentially what it's going to look like. And so as we go, I'm going to show you how to create each element of this, and then you will see me put it together at the end. So this is everything that comes into the kit. I'm looking at and it doesn't look like there's anything that's not included. So I'm not going to do any distressing on this one. I like it to be like a crisp look to it. And so everything that you are going to need is going to be in this kit. The only thing that might vary a little bit will be your bookbinding scrap, because those are all going to be different. But essentially it's going to be the same thing. So, and then you also get the envelope in there as well. So the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to show you how to, so you have just like this random piece of cardboard, and I kind of have gone over it in other videos. It's just like a random cut piece of scrap. But you'll notice if you've never torn cardboard, you want it to kind of look like that so that you can kind of have the rough edge. And so you're essentially tearing off one side of the cardboard so that you can see the ridges on the one side. I like to look for cardboard that's a little cheaper in quality because it's a little bit easier to tear, but it just kind of depends. So, and then just keep in mind that you're just going to see a little bit of it. So when you're tearing, if you have like a spot like this where you're only getting the edge, it's going to be okay because you're not seeing a ton of the torn cardboard. But what you do, and I'll show you with my random scrap here, I've been taking videos of all. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find that edge, and you're just going to kind of tear around. And I'll use my weeding tool to kind of get in there and tear it. And if you get like a nice, I just dropped my ruler. If you get like a nice chunk, it's always kind of easy, just like that. And I won't sit here and bore you while I tear this whole piece of cardboard, but essentially that's what you're gonna do, is you're just getting enough to be able to tear it off, and then for that to show along the edge of your star. So once you have your cardboard all torn, we're gonna go ahead and glue your star down. And then for this, I'm just not really gonna use 3-in-1. I'm just gonna use, which I already glued that down on that. I'm just gonna use my extra strength glue stick, and then I'm just gonna glue that down, and then I'm gonna use my scissors and I'm gonna cut around the star to show as much of the edge as I want. So for this one, this is how much edge I decided to show. Just like that. So now that you have your star done, the next element to do is to make your little tag. And you have that here. And this is a little bit wider than what I would prefer. And I dropped my scissors too, so just a second. You see where they went. Okay. I want it to be a little bit thinner. And so I'm just going to eyeball it, but you could use your paper cutter as well. And I'm just going to kind of trim that up nice like that. And then once I decide how long I want it, I'll probably trim a chunk of that off. But I'm going to go ahead and do a hole punch there. Actually, that's the small hole punch. Just a second. I, of course, was using it in the warehouse earlier. So if I'm out of breath, it's because I ran into the warehouse. Okay, so then I'm going to just go ahead and do my hole punch. And then you have your little hole protector here. And then I'm just gonna line that up just like that. And then you have your string, and all I'm gonna do is come through and make a cute little bow. This isn't attaching to anything. We're just gonna end up gluing it down, so you don't have to worry about that. And you can make a big bow or a small bow or whatever your preference is. And then cut off the excess depending on how big you want it. Move my envelope out of the way. So then you'll have your book page. So I just kind of want to get a general idea of what it's going to look like. And then you could probably trim that off because you don't want it to be too long, but that's completely your preference. So now that I have all of my different elements built, I'm going to move over and finish this one that I had started. Okay, so you'll notice in your kit you have a full piece. This is actually one piece, and I cut mine in half. It's up to you. And all I did is I just took my scissors and I just boop right there, made that leaf look round, and then it gave me two, or you could just leave it as one. That's completely up to you. But I wanted two on mine. All right, so for my binding, I want it kind of down a little bit. So I'm using extra strength Elmer's glue. I'm just gonna kind of go like that just to get it down initially. And then I might even use 3-in-1, but I think that should be fine actually, just because it's got that webbing in there. Gosh, I love the look of these. Okay, so we can never, my camera's shaking. We can never keep these in stock, so we sell bags of these bookbinding scraps, and they sell out within a second. So people will sit on our waiting list, and as soon as we get some in stock, they're gone. I don't even bother putting them in the store anymore. I just, when I add them to the stock, I just put them by the shipping station because I know that they're going to sell right away. But they look really cool, and they're really good in journals too. So a lot of people like to use those. So now that I have that glued down, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where I want. So I'm going to put the star there. I want to figure out where I want the leaves, because I want the leaves underneath the star. So maybe like that, because then that'll go there. Well, maybe I'll shift them over a little bit like that. That'll go there. Nope, I'm going to go even further. I'm going to go like that, but straight. So right now I'm just trying to get a general idea of where I want my, I'm actually going to go like that. That looks cute like that. So I want my leaves, and then I'm just going to slowly pick that up. There. And it looks like my 3-in-1 got super clogged. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down. Might need to refill my fine tip applicator. Come on. Okay. Stage fright. Okay. Great timing to be empty. A lack of preparation here. There we go. And I'm just gonna put some glue on all my leaves. And glue her down. And then same with this one. And then I had her had them kind of overlapping a little bit. So make sure we do that while we're gluing them down. Just like that. All right. With my star, I'm gonna make sure that it's straight and where I want it. And since I have this out, I'll just use it. But you don't technically need your fine tip applicator for this. In fact, it's gonna take forever because this one's almost gone. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my regular. Make life a little bit easier. And then go ahead and glue your star where you want it. That's the one nice thing about 3-in-1 is you have a little bit of time, but also it dries fairly quickly as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue that down. Just like that. And the last thing is my little Merry Christmas embellishment. So I was kind of thinking that I would have it here, but then it kind of pops up and I don't really like that. So I think I'm going to have it going like that. And I don't want the whole thing glued down, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that edge there. Just like that. And just like that. This is one of my favorite ones so far. And perfect. If you wanted to get it a little more grungy, you could do distress ink on the edge, but I just wanted it to be nice and crisp and clean for this one. But look at how cute that is, guys. Let me know if you have any questions.